Hi, this is your Mortgage Rate Watch for Tuesday, November 22nd, a really cold and chilly day here in Washington. We were able to make it into the office, as you can see, in our street apparel to stay warm. So, getting right down to the mortgage world and what's happening for homeowners out there. Right now, the biggest thing hitting the news, as we continue to have the news in the background, is what's going on with North and South Korea. We talked about for the last couple of days and in the past posts that you hear this word safe haven being used and what happens in times like this. Well, as foreign investors look to where to put their money, in a time like this, everyone's looking to go somewhere safe until they can just, figure out how this dust is going to settle from these actions that are coming from North Korea. And so right now, the U.S. bond market's being a beneficiary of that. In the tune right now, just looking at the mortgage market as we're actually trading, we're having some of the best days that we've had in probably a little over a week or 2 weeks since we had QE2. Keep in mind, when the QE2 announcement came off, we slid. For a lot of you out there, we lost that rate that was below 4%, went up to 4.375, and that was probably within a 4-day price change. Today, we're getting back down into that 4.25 mark. For many, depending on what the scenarios are, without putting out the APR, with a no loan origination fee on a hypothetical on a loan, you could get down to maybe 4.25 and then have an APR of about 4.31. So that's just throwing it out there as an example of potentially what it could be looking at today. And, it's really hard to do without an actual loan. But, to stay compliant and regulatory, we have to put those numbers out there to give you an example. But clearly, we want to also put out there that these are beating the national averages locally. So, when you can beat local averages, then obviously that's a huge thing, just because that means our rates here in Washington are trending to be slower, even though that we're, quote-unquote, the foreclosure capital of the United States right now. So, on the good side, we are seeing economic numbers come in from the GDP report that's showing better than expected. But the downside to that is how the media and how the economists are playing that out, is because production could be coming in from retailers that have kept their shelves stocked very light, and because now they're wrapping up in the holiday seasons, they're starting to request the higher demand, creating a higher production, and then creating more inventory, so that makes a false sense of the GDP. And a long story short, it is good news, but when you strip out everything, it could be mediocre news. So it's still yet to be seen, and that's really going to come what's coming across with Korea right now. If you turn on CNBC right now or MSNBC, all they're talking about is Korea. And in fact, as they're talking more about Korea, we're seeing the bond market even have another change here. So it's going to be highly volatile today as far as what could potentially happen with rates, obviously going into holidays. We do want to note that here again, if you go back in the 2-year chart, normally interest rates have moved higher in the month of November and December, and then here in January they do trickle off. Sorry, I keep looking all over. There's just so much data coming out at the moment from media and both the internet. So we will definitely keep in touch. Make sure to follow us on our Twitter page below. You'll see that link on the side of our page that has the follow us. If you'd like to join in the communication with us, we have our live chat button on themortgageville.com. And here within just a few short days, we're going to be bringing up the Facebook fan page, which is completely different than what you see normally on Facebook. And it is going to be a extremely volatile way for a homeowner to have a lot of communication with us, to put out scenarios. And we're just putting out there the basic foundation that we want to set the tone with our Facebook fan page. It's going back to the elementary, high school, college levels. If you ask a question, it could be the same question that's loaded that many other people in the classroom have that could benefit from your question. So we are going to put out a ton of scenarios of how we're assisting our clients currently and how, unfortunately, we aren't able to assist clients. And then the more and more questions that you're able to put on our Facebook fan page of what's going on with your home, how you're either having a win or a mediocre result or unfortunate loss, that is going to help a lot of other homeowners out there. So we want to make this highly interactive and put a lot of good information out where people can get involved and join the communication. So look forward to that soon. Any breaking news, make sure to follow us on our Twitter page again, because today is just going to be a day that just keeps rolling out, even though our city has, in Seattle, Bellevue, at least King County, has been pretty much shut down. Be safe, have a good day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.